Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on all kinds of issues related to narcissism, narcissistic relationships, and toxic people in general. It's my hope that what you learn on this channel will help you cope with, and heal from these relationships. As always, speaking of healing, there's only so deep we're going to be able to get here on YouTube, but if you're interested in doing a deeper dive on healing from a narcissistic relationship, go to the video notes. You'll see a link there that will take you to different kinds of programs we do specifically on healing. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and join this really great community of folks who get this. Can't tell you what a source of pride it is to me to see how many people, just judging on the comments and questions we get, who really, really get this. Actually, often a lot better than a lot of people out there who claim to get it. So good for you. But I'm going to take on something that I think a few of you are not going to agree with. So I think the comments on this one may be a little bit robust, but I'm going to go out there because it happened to me recently. And I was like, oh no, people are not still saying this. And I bet every one of you has said this. I know I've made the mistake of saying this. So what is this thing that people are saying and they really shouldn't be doing? Let's all make a commitment to stop saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. Let's file this statement, I'm sorry you feel that way, under a mistake we all make. But saying it runs the risk of pulling us into well-intended but toxic territory. And this sentence is a favorite ploy of the narcissist. It's this absolutely messed up phrase of, I'm sorry you feel that way. Drop it in the comments. How many of you have had that said to you by the narcissist? And fess up. How many of you have said it yourselves? Because every time I hear someone say this, I wince. It's sort of a pseudo empathy covered in a gaslight. It's like chocolate covered rotten fish. It's not okay. So let's break this statement down so you can understand why I have such a problem with it. Because let's face it, we've all said it. That sentence should not go on. It should just be, I'm sorry, not you feel that way. I'm sorry. Now, assuming that the person did something to be sorry for. But when you say, I'm sorry you feel that way, you're judging a person's emotion. And that judgment of a person's emotion is a core tactic of gaslighting. I'm sorry you feel that way casts doubt on a person's feelings, as though you are sorry that they are having a particular feeling. And the assumption is that they actually could or even should be having another kind of a feeling. Now, I'm sorry you feel that way is a statement that is typically uttered when the person saying this may have done or said something that has caused discomfort for another person. Things that include lying to them, criticizing them, betraying them, manipulating them, hurting them, something harmful. So someone says something harmful to another person. Then that other person, not surprisingly, has a reaction. They may feel anger, sadness, maybe they even want to end the relationship. So they certainly probably feel let down, but they have an emotion. They have an experience, a reaction. And the hurter, the harmer, the person who did the hurting will say, I'm sorry you feel that way. Who exactly are they sorry for? The other person who was hurt, or themselves, because the hurt person's feeling isn't working out for them? Then that's not empathy, it's self-pity. So let me put some examples out there to make this clear. And again, if you have some good examples, again, drop those in the comments too, because it's important to understand this. Let's say person A and person B are in a relationship. Person A tells person B something in confidence, a secret, or something that they don't want shared with other people. Person B turns around and tells her mother what person A said. And then person A finds out that person B betrayed their confidence and is incensed and embarrassed. Person A tells and shares her feeling with person B, who shared that secret, and person B says, I'm sorry you feel that way. Now let's another example. Luna and Gus are in a work meeting. Luna keeps interrupting Gus, not letting Gus finish a thought, casting shade on Gus, even gaslighting Gus during the meeting. Gus finally gets an opportunity his opportunity to speak in the meeting. And when he's done speaking, lets Luna know that her behavior wasn't okay. And that Gus says, I didn't feel heard or valued. Luna then says, I'm sorry you feel that way. So actually what should have happened, person B should have apologized to person A and had enough empathy to understand, reasonably so, that person A was hurt and was having a very real emotional experience because of it. Luna should have known that Luna was cutting Gus off, and instead of taking ownership for that behavior that was pointed out to Luna, pathologized Gus for having an experience in that meeting. I'm sorry you feel that way. So I'm sorry you feel that way is a self-protective statement. And let's face it, that kind of self-protection is very common in narcissism. It's a way to get a person off the hook and move the spotlight onto the emotions of the hurt party rather than the behavior of the transgressor, of the person who did the bad thing. Now, some of you may be thinking, slow down, sister. I have said this to the narcissist. I've said to them, I'm sorry you feel that way. That narcissistic person will be coming at me about how hurt they are, and they're the one who hurt me. And they start calling me the gaslighter, and they start calling me the narcissist when none of that's true. And then I turn around and I said to them, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. But the fact is, everyone, in that statement, in that case, the statement is inaccurate. Are you actually sorry that they feel that way? It's more likely that you are angry they feel that way, or confused that they feel that way, or puzzled that they feel that way. It seems that the more appropriate response would be, I don't agree with you on that. Or you might try, you're telling me that you're hurt? I hear that. It appears that now we're both hurt. That would be a reasonable response. Or you might say, I'm actually confused about why you think I'm a narcissist, but I wouldn't recommend that as a stance because that's basically falling into the vat of explaining and defending and engaging, which we know is a no-no. But you're not sorry they feel that way. You're pissed that they feel that way. Language matters. This statement of I'm sorry you feel that way is far more often used against people than it is ever used against the narcissistic folks. But no matter who you are, it's simply bad relationship hygiene. When you say you are sorry that someone feels a certain way, it's passive aggressive and you are judging their emotion. It falls into other toxic things that people may say like, well, I don't agree with your emotion right now. What the actual F? I actually recently had a narcissistic person do this to me. And I looked at him and when he said that, and I said, come again, like you don't agree with my emotion? Like this is not multiple choice. There's no right answer here. Because that is what I am sorry you feel that way is. I do know that some people try to use this statement as a sort of a clarifier. In essence, they didn't mean for their statement or their behavior to be hurtful, but the other person does get hurt. And the person who said the statement is saying, I'm sorry you feel that way, is trying to clarify their intention. But still, it's still the wrong statement. Always start with real empathy. Try and said, I'm sorry I hurt you. Even if it wasn't your intention, they're hurt. Sometimes we take on the language of the toxic. It happens. Some of these phrases like, I'm sorry you feel that way, bubble into the landscape in a way that we start taking them on. And especially when we feel guilt about the hurt or harm we may have caused, and then we're trying to protect ourselves, right? This statement, I'm sorry you feel that way, is a way to do that. It feels like empathy, but it's really not. It's a way to sound empathic, but in fact, it leaves the other person feeling crazy. And that, my friends, is gaslighting. So that's why we don't want to do this. And if it's done to you, now you know what's being done to you. And if you didn't like this video, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. No, I'm just kidding. If you didn't like this video, then I'm actually just plain sorry. It's a bad statement. And ironically, I've had it probably once a month for the last 3 months. Different people have said, I'm sorry you feel that way. And I remember it sort of hit me here. And I know it's happened with clients and other people I know. And I was like, what is this? And then I recognized it was sort of this passive aggressive kind of, it definitely threw me off balance. And I thought, something throws me off balance, especially in what should be a connected conversation. Pay attention to that. So let's not do that anymore. Okay. Thanks again. Bye-bye.